to our annual member meeting 2026. Woo! Yes. This is one of my favorite events of the year because it's really celebratory, right? We get to see all of the amazing projects that we've done over the year, and we get really excited and anticipate what is happening this year, right? It's a lot of looking back and looking ahead, and so I'm very excited to celebrate and get excited with you all for this year, and let's see what we have in store. So we have some interpretation available for folks. We have Spanish language that's available through Zoom, so if you do need that support, you could use this QR code to enter into that Zoom and be able to get that translation. So just going to keep that up there for a moment. Make sure that goes through. Let's give it a second. Cool. Awesome. And this is a little bit about how to access that. Awesome. Let's see. Keep it there. Okay. All right. So we got a jam-packed schedule today. Firstly, we have our welcome. We'll talk about our year in review. Also, looking ahead of some of the projects and things that we have coming up this year, a lot of really exciting things happening. Our People Power Media Fest is, always really an exciting event that occurs later half of the year. We'll also talk about our 10-year anniversary of WPPM, our radio station. We'll look at, yes. We'll also look at some of our workshops and things that are coming up. Then we have a lovely presentation by our organizational partners, People's Media Record, to talk to us about archiving and how important that is now and forever, but especially now in a time where we feel like a lot of our media is being silenced or taken away and not accessible, and so how important those stories are now as a way to archive our history and ensure that those stories aren't erased. And then we have our board member elections, a little report out from our board. If you, as active members, should have all received those links to vote, and then we also have support for folks if you want to do it manually. We'll have our promo session, so this is a change from our pitch sessions that we've had previously, where we have a whole slew of really awesome members who are going to share out about the work that they've been up to, and so you can get interested in, see how you can support, learn more about those projects that are happening, and then we have some wonderful member recognition happening towards the end there to just, highlight some of the really amazing work that our members have been doing throughout the year, and then lunch and dancing. So to start us off, I'm going to invite Gretchen Clausing, our executive director, to say a few words.
Hey, I'm gonna be short because we have a lot planned, but I just want to thank you all for being part of this community. It's been a rough year, but I think it's been a year that's made the work that we do more visible and more valued, and that people understand more about First Amendment and media consolidation and all this stuff that's happening, and you all contribute to bringing those kinds of stories here to Philadelphia. So I just want to thank you for that. I think did we lose the mic?
No, it's there.
No, oh, the mic's still going? Okay. And I was so proud with our PPM Fest this year. I feel like having a day to really investigate the First Amendment and our role in how we protect that was really amazing, and looking forward to this year's PPM Fest. I want to take an opportunity to thank all the staff for all they do. This has been like a record year of new programs coming in, and I really appreciate all of that work. I do have a member that would like to make a statement. This is Carol Finkel, who's been involved with PhillyCAM for a very long time, but she wants to complain that we do not have interpretation today. So Carol, do you want to come up?
Hi, everyone.
Here, you want the mic?
Okay. Can you hear me? I talk really loud. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes? No? Yes?
So-
Yeah, I talk loud because could you put it here? I have to use my hands. Oh, I don't want you to stand there and hold it. Anybody, but not Gretchen. Just somebody come hold it for her. Thank you, Gabe. Gretchen needs less responsibility. This isn't part of her curriculum vitae, but thank you, Gabe. Okay, why I'm here right now. So everything that's been said in the first 5 minutes of this meeting, if you look back in the history, seriously, what do we see? Whether the signs are visible or invisible, we see great big signs everywhere, right through to the 1960s, 70s, and worse. What do we see? We see for whites only, big signs. Or we see colored bathrooms, or we see blah, blah, blah. Okay, fast forward 2026 now. As far as I'm concerned, everything that goes on in PhillyCAM, the member meetings, the other public events, the boasting of pride of how much has gotten done. To me, what do I see in my mind's eye is a great big sign that says, and I have one if you want it to blast everywhere on your social media, a big sign that says, for hearing people only. Like this meeting. Could you have this meeting without ramps for wheelchairs? No way. Could you, or would you want to have this meeting for everyone except people of color? No way. So this is a fully diverse, equitable, inclusive program today. To you it is. Why? Because you're so privileged to be hearing. I'm focusing on the culture and linguistic minority of my children. I'm not talking about disability. I'm talking about DEI, but without an A on the end, accessibility. The rest doesn't mean anything. So I'm ashamed. As much as I love PhillyCAM from the start, when you see the video they show, I'm told they still show it, a video of the early days of protests, you will see me there signing. What was that? 30 years ago? You'll see me there signing, because that was the beginning of my struggle and my advocacy to make sure that the deaf culture is included in everything. Without linguistic access, you even are boasting how you have Spanish language access up here. Come on. 2026, the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed into law in 1990, and organizations, nonprofit organizations like PhillyCAM still dare to hold meetings with no indication of inclusion, inviting our region's deaf community. How many are parents in here? How many people are parents? Lots of parents, lots of parents. Anyone in here ever want their children to become members of PhillyCAM? Anyone want the children? Anyone want to bring their children here? Yeah, yes. You think sometimes you want to introduce, but you can't. You can't. You can, because you and your kids are all hearing, because you know these are for hearing people only. But me, no. And parents know, all parents know one thing. If your kids are left out, if your siblings are left out, if your mom or dad is left out, so are you. And 1 year ago, there was a big event on Zoom hosted by PhillyCAM with the board. And for people who joined that Zoom meeting a year ago, you will see me on there saying it was inexcusable, just as it is today, for that Zoom meeting, for the whole public invited, except if you were deaf. And I left that meeting telling the board director and everyone, I don't know if our board members here, any board here at all? Yes. One, two board members are here. 3 board members are here. Well, this is not acceptable. You know, you say you always hurt the ones you love. I love PhillyCAM. I've spent years and years interacting with PhillyCAM creators and members and board. And I even brought the deaf community from Pennsylvania School for the Deaf for 2 hours. I brought their staff and students here 1 year ago to spend time about how their teaching program could invite these students to learn what everyone else is welcome to learn. No one followed up on it at all. Not PhillyCAM's problem, but still they could have let me know that there was no follow-up. Anyway, the point, you get the point. This is no good. If I come back year after year after year after year, since before it was even open, fighting for inclusion of cultural linguistic rights, which are like just the normal way for PhillyCAM attitude to address everything except the deaf community. You have any idea, anyone? This happens to be Deaf History Month. Anyone know that? Anyone? You ever hear that? It started 2 days ago. Deaf History Month every single year, like Women's History Month, Black History Month, LGBTQ history. Yes, yes, yes. And in every one of those minority groups with a big national focus on equality and inclusion and accomplishments, not one acknowledges the deaf community as part of their groups. Every minority ignores their own deaf community. PhillyCAM's supposed to be leaders. I'm still waiting to hear their actual actions that they're taking, except that they finally have a, quote, point person, Gabe. Thank you for listening.
As a note, there have been some mistakes maybe that we've made in the past. And we apologize for those and we'll try to do better. As far as right now, this is a general membership meeting. We have no hearing impaired members. So therefore, for this meeting, it wasn't...
No deaf or hard of hearing people.
It wasn't
not hearing
included. Okay? So, because we have no hearing impaired or anyone else with a disability, here we are.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, and we appreciate when folks are honest with us. So I do thank you for taking the time and addressing that, because it's the only way we can get things done, right? So thank you all for listening as well. yeah, I welcome anyone who has any concerns or thoughts around accessibility, not just for deaf and hard of hearing community, any of us. Please come and find me, and I would love to talk to you. To get back to our schedule, we have our year in review that our lovely team has been working on to share about some of the things that we wanted to celebrate for this year. And so we will roll that clip.
In this last year, we have had so many examples of what happens when free speech is under attack, and how does that impact the stories that are being told, and consequently, on the flip side, what is not being said for fear of retribution or retaliation. I came to PhillyCAM 4 months ago, really because I was in a space where I felt like it was important to start telling stories from my community. And 2 months after that, I was sitting behind the desk of PhillyCAM Voices, and I was hosting the show. I was able to take classes, I was able to learn from folks, to learn one-on-one, to collaborate, to connect with other shows and other folks who were doing filming here. And for me, that was really the hands-on learning that I needed. What would be so helpful is for folks to get plugged in any way that they can with something that's important and meaningful for them in the community.
I remember my first fund drive. Every show kind of did their own thing, maybe said, give, and that was pretty much it. And the second year, I went to our program director, Allison, and I was like, what if we went on the air from like 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon? And she's like, oh yeah, we can do that. Well, I think last year was our third year. I think we started at 10 in the morning and went to 10 at night. And Julian and I were joking the other day, we're going to take it to 24 hours at some point. We're going to make that happen.
What PhillyCAM is just kind of built into the DNA, diversifying their newsroom, diversifying their sources, trying to do community engagement in a real authentic way. And StoryCorps is invited to participate in this year's PPM Fest. The theme was free speech. And so what we were trying to accomplish in that panel was create the conditions for people to understand the words you use create reality, and that reality informs policy, and that policy informs people's quality of life.
And so to write a challenging story, to tell a challenging story, is to be willing to shake up a person's perception and get them to see something that they may have been missing all this time.
When we're talking about narrative change, which is really what Brightness and Black is about, you can't pursue narrative change without pursuing the media. The narrative around young folks in Philadelphia is totally warped.
Yes,
right?
A lot of people are just like shutting them out because it's like, oh no, you're young, oh, I don't know, you can't work where I work. And like PhillyCAM doesn't do that. Like they allow us to come here and, lead things, We literally have the freedom to talk about whatever we want. And you really don't feel like you have to be too technical or like feeling like you have to have a set way that you have to do something. Everybody gets a chance to speak. Everybody gets a chance to talk about what they want to talk about. And honestly, like, it feels good.
It feels like someone's listening to you. Yeah. Someone it literally gives you the mic and say like, well, what do you want to talk about? You really get to drive the story. The pitch of the story is not the same as a traditional pitch in a newsroom where you get a yay or a nay. It's more of saying, okay, how do we tell this story? What does it look like? And how do we continue to get information to those that need it? It's important to have members of the community telling stories that are important to them because it has the opportunity to reverberate out from there.
No one's worried about like, if I don't do great on this show, what my ratings are going to kick me off there. Like all of that commercial stuff is moved aside, and people really get to just focus on creating for the sake of creation and creation for the sake of community. And so when you remove all of the accoutrements of commercial media, you get left with this kind of heart and soul part of the work.
Innovation, right? I think that there's so much room for creativity and innovation when you don't have competition.
And you're not afraid to take chances.
Yeah.
One of the great things as a music programmer is that I don't have this playlist that I have have to play. And I can do it based on the events of the day, how I'm feeling, whatever the case may be. And I can just go out there and play it. A song like Immigrants, We Get the Job Done. Or a song like I Love Being Black. Or I Am Not My Hair. Or things like that. Sometimes I will just throw those on just because I can, and I think it's important to say these things.
Each of us here today has had a personal experience where we were able to say, this is the opportunity that having community-based media has afforded us that otherwise would have been a gap in the way that stories have been told for us through mainstream media. And I think the beauty of that and being able to have those opportunities comes from our opportunity to have free speech. I love the fact that when you come into orientation, they always say, we're never gonna tell you you can't do something, we're gonna give you some support, but every story is worth being told and worth being heard here. In this last year, we have had so many examples of what happens when free speech is under attack.
This is when community reporting becomes less of a luxury and more of a resistance. Like, you have to do it now. Well, my hope for PhillyCAM is that people will take advantage of the opportunity to tell stories that are not just true, but provocative. I think it's your right to make people in power uncomfortable, particularly with media. And I think that's what we have to do now, because the moment calls for it, but we have to meet the moment.
Thank you. Very exciting stuff. Very motivational. And yeah, as we look ahead at this year, there are different things that we have been working to put into place. And, you know, there are always more things for us to do as well. But we are working to protect our community and really rise in this moment, like this video said. And so I'd like to invite up Maya Wineg, who is our access facilitator, to talk about some of the work we've been doing around ICE.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name's Maya, and you can usually find me working up in the equipment room. And yeah, I just want to give you an update on the safety protocols that we've been working for several months to put into place. So as a staff, we've been collaborating with each other and also consulting outside organizations and resources in an ongoing effort to have clear protocols in the event of the presence of ICE. Hey, Bettina. Hey. Bettina's here. In the event of the presence of ICE or CBP on our site. While we haven't yet encountered an explicit threat to PhillyCAM, we as a staff want to ensure that we are as prepared as possible for what could come. Our organization welcomes people of all backgrounds, no matter their immigration status, to have a platform for free speech. It's our responsibility to do the research, work, and training necessary to respond to threats to our community members and keep people as safe as possible amidst such unpredictable and aggressive national policy. The top line is, we staunchly oppose ICE. We will not let any agents onto our premises without a proper signed judicial warrant, which specific staff members are receiving training to identify. Because of what's going on right now, one protocol that we're working on strengthening is door security. We're working on striking the balance between maintaining our welcoming environment while also ensuring we know who is coming in and out of the building. You can help us keep the building secure by not letting people into the building that you do not know, and leaving the control of opening the door for people to staff only, which radio people, it's a slightly different scenario when we're not open. If there's not a staff member and someone is knocking, feel free to come get one of us. We have the ability to talk to people through an intercom to check in with them about what brings them to our space. As we continue to develop our policies, we also want to encourage people to attend upcoming Know Your Rights trainings happening throughout the city, planned by council members, including Kendra Brooks, Elizabeth Fiedler, Nicholas O'Rourke, and other state and city officials. If you visit training.iceoutphilly.org, there is more info about upcoming trainings. Please feel free to let us know if you have any questions. And also, I read that website kind of fast, so let me know if you want to know more about it. Bettina, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything. I'm here to support you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, team. Now we'll look ahead at our upcoming workshops and events.
Hi, everybody. I will keep it short. I'm Laura, I'm the Education Director. I love hearing from you all in terms of workshops that you really enjoyed attending, things that you want to know more about, things you want to see repeated. We recently had a Mike is Hot voiceover workshop with Stephanie Renee, and I got lots of great feedback about that, and we're going to do that with more hands-on training coming up this summer. Last year, we had a great video news gathering workshop with Holly Stevens, who's a multimedia journalist, for folks looking to do more field packages and video work for our news programs. You can keep an eye out for that. Every month, we skipped March because of the member meeting, but we have a feedback loop. Can I see if anyone has presented or attended at a feedback loop? A few people in here. So it's a really nice informal gathering each month where you can submit to share like a work in progress, a treatment, a reading, and just get feedback from fellow members and like an invited guest. We'll be bringing back collaborative filmmaking, so keep an eye out for that, and obviously like our regular TV crew classes. And I just wanted to give a special plug for next Saturday here in the building. There's 2 film screenings, so from 11 to 1, Walker of the Universe. You're going to be hearing from Derek Rivers a little bit later. It's an amazing sci-fi film that he produced here. And then at 1 o'clock in the community room, a filmmaker from Colombia is presenting a work called La Red, which is about the trans community organizing in Colombia, and he'll be here and we'll do like a Q&A, and both events are free and open to members. So just a little teaser for what's coming up in the spring. And again, my emails are always open, and I'd love to hear from you. So thanks.
Thank you. Yes, awesome. I also wanted to note that for folks, like when you signed in, we have your emails. I always send out an email after events with the PowerPoint and then a bunch of information. So links and things and that people have mentioned will be in those emails. So we got you there. I would like to invite up Ryan Shaw to talk about our awesome People Power Media Fest and what we have in store for this later this year.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan Shaw. I work upstairs in the radio studio. I have to say my first and last name because there is another Ryan here who predates me, so I have to go with the second name. I'm Ryan Shaw. I work upstairs, and I'm here to talk about People Powered Media Fest. Last year, it was lots of fun and overall a success by most metrics. We had lots of stuff going on here in this very studio, main studio, across the street at the Free Library, WHYY, and that formula was really, really successful for a lot of reasons, and it was very fulfilling to a lot of people. So we're looking to repeat that model this year, upcoming on Saturday, October 24th. That is the date. Save the date. You'll be getting plenty more information about it, upcoming in emails and blasts, and you know how it goes. Our theme this year is Media Uprising, 250 Years in the Making. So you can expect arts professionals, journalists, media makers of all kinds coming together to talk about the power of media making and the ways that it's been used historically for change and the ways that we can use it now for change. That's pretty much it for me. I want to thank everybody for coming, and stay tuned. Thanks.
Awesome. Speaking of Media Uprising and looking ahead, this year is, like I said, our 10th year of being on the radio. Woo! So to talk about that history and how we got here and how we're going to celebrate that, I would like to invite Allison up from our radio station.
And is Ricky Paul in the room? Ricky Paul, there he is. Nice. All right, thank you. Hello to everyone. I see some familiar faces and also some new faces. So I'm Allison Durham. I'm the radio program manager here at PhillyCAM, which means that I help with my colleagues help manage our community radio station here in the space. And as Gabe mentioned, we're so excited because on October 20th, we will be officially celebrating 10 years on the air. And it is honestly worth a round of applause. I've been at the station since 2017, so I came in within the first year, and it's been such an honor to watch the station grow and blossom and change. And so I'm so excited to invite Ricky Paul to join in the conversation, just to share a little bit about what it took for our radio station to go on air before 2016. So Ricky, thank you for being a part of the journey all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to be here. I honestly can't even believe it's 10 years. I think you were 14 when we started. I was, of course, 29. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, reaching all the way back to the 90s when myself and Gretchen and Debbie were all activists fighting to enact public access funding in this city of Philadelphia, which was, written into the charter in 1983 and not actually enacted upon until 2007. So let's start there, okay? Thanking those activists, including Keith Brand, many different board members that have come and gone, in getting PhillyCAM here to start with, right? And then from there, like the idea of bringing a community media radio station here was such a foreign idea, and it was such a, radio, by the way, is very, very, very tricky. I remember going to Washington, D.C. Do you remember that field trip?
I sure do.
Yeah, you want to talk about that for a second?
Oh, well, we've had some experience going down to the FCC, in Washington, D.C., basically to advocate on behalf for the existence of low-power FM community radio stations like ours. Our station manager, our station co-founder Vanessa Maria Graber really, I think, helped to lead the charge to work, and essentially with a wonderful group called Prometheus Radio Project, which is a whole long story. There's so much to this history. But basically in Philadelphia, she worked with others to ensure that nonprofits and groups like PhillyCAM could apply for these low-power FM licenses, and it's something that we actually have to continue to advocate for. So, the work continues, and shout out to Vanessa, who can't be with us today, but was a part of the grassroots organizing and the work it took for our radio station to be made possible at a place like PhillyCAM, and brought us down to the FCC some years ago, basically to speak up for why we, need access to the airwaves.
Yes,
so.
And we're still under threat from the FCC and others, so we have to continue to fight for the funding and the opportunity for all of us to raise our voices and make media and create media justice. So we've got to continue that work, right? But I will say, on a personal note, as a kid that grew up in East Falls, as a queer kid who knew he was different and listened to the radio and didn't hear myself on the radio, right? For that opportunity to be able to come here and make a show where I get to tell my stories and play music, that is incredible. And to be able to pass that along to everyone else that comes in through these doors, to pay that forward is so, so important, and all the more reason why we need to continue to fight for media justice. So thank you, Allison, for your leadership.
Ricky.
Gretchen,
everybody,
board members who have come and gone, activists who continue to fight. Thank you, Carol. And let's keep going for 10 more years.
Let's keep going. Thank you, Ricky. And I do want to quickly shout out, we have some special...
Even more,
That's right. I do have some dates to share with you all as well. So some things to look out for. We're really excited. In anticipation of this 10-year anniversary, we are going to be calling on PhillyCAM members to help celebrate with us and also rally support for our radio station for years to come. Every year, we have a really fantastic week of programming through our WPPM Fund Drive. Shout out to some committee members who have helped plan the drive with us, and our programmers who are part of the drive each year. And it is coming up soon. It's going to be May 27th through June 3rd, and that's special programming on WPPM. Live remote broadcasts will be at West Philly Porch Fest. We're thinking about trying to organize a celebration here, a barbecue of sorts, ways for all people to engage and really celebrate the station. So that's this summer. And then again, keep your eye on news, because I think a lot of people here probably are familiar with Ollie Hackett, King of the Oldies, a longtime PhillyCAM member. Ollie's not with us today, but I'm letting the cat out of the bag to tell you that he's been organizing a very special telethon event fundraiser for PhillyCAM and 10 years of his show, Salt, Pepper, and Memories, as well as WPPM. It's June 27th, that's a Saturday. It will be here at PhillyCAM, so that's coming up. So keep your eye out and your ears out for news about our 10-year anniversary coming up, and thank you so much for supporting our station all these years.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
all.
Ricky.
Thank you. Thank you both. Yes, we will be posting more about that, obviously, on our social media and the newsletters and in that email that I share out. And speaking in our preserving media, protecting media, I'd like to invite up Winter and Lila from People's Media Record to share with us about preserving media and history.
Thank you. How do you just press the, okay, it's the clicker. You got the clicker for me. I didn't click. Hi, everybody. Is it afternoon yet? Yeah. Okay, well, good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi. It's really good to be here with everybody today. My name is Winter. I work with People's Media Records, sorry, now I'm nervous, as Director of Resource Mobilization. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Lila Char Perez. I'm the Director of Archiving and Preservation at the People's Media Record. I'm so happy to be here, and this is an honor.
Awesome. Before we talk to you today about media preservation, we wanted to get a couple of shows of hands. Raise your hand if you feel that knowing history or knowing what has come before is important for building a better future. Okay. Now, raise your hand if you have personal or neighborhood or community or family stories or histories that you want to preserve for future generations. I'm not surprised, okay. Now, raise your hand if you feel like you've got a long-term preservation plan, if you've really got it all worked out, like you feel really secure. Okay, so Carlton, maybe you should be giving, you should give the presentation today. It's been great, bye. Yeah, we're all in the same, as you likely saw, very few of us have a really airtight preservation plan for our media. We're all in that boat together, and we're excited to talk to you about it today. Before we get into sharing some knowledge about digital preservation specifically, we wanted to just talk to you a little bit about who we are. So People's Media Record, who and what we are really. People's Media Record is both a digital repository and archive for social movement histories in Philadelphia and the region. And we're also a growing regional hub for grassroots archiving and preservation. What that looks like on a day-to-day basis is we steward our repository, which is a digital repository. We manage a fellowship program. It's called Preserving and Archiving Community Media, or PACME. Shout out to PACME fellow or fellows in the audience today. Woohoo! It's a beautiful program, and we're very proud to run it. And we also work with individuals and groups and organizations to both preserve and also activate their media collections. So really, how can you build community around the long-term stewardship of your media as it ages, as it becomes more at risk, and as you want to prepare to pass it along so it can be stewarded by future generations. May I have the next slide, please? Thank you. We wanted to share with you about our mission. So People's Media Record's mission is to build the power and capacity for Philadelphians to save and share their stories on their own terms. Now, why is that important to us? So the traditional and the historical landscape of archiving and preservation is really gatekept in terms of knowledge and capacity. When you think of archiving, you likely think of large research institutions or universities that really have a asymmetrical or really an outsized hold on power and resources in our city, especially at the neighborhood level. You think about a big institution's capacity to save their information versus their neighbors who are battling the forces of gentrification, the forces of predatory development, and trying to save and hold on to their stories. So it's really there's a real asymmetry in that landscape that's really built into it. So that's one reason. Also, Philly is home, as you can see on our slide, to really powerful lineages of storytelling for justice and liberation. And it's our honor to uplift those lineages and to try to make preservation tools accessible and to really meet people who are already doing this work so powerfully where they are, so that we can preserve the media that tell those stories that, again, are becoming fragile over time. And then lastly, we really believe this, that knowledge, connection, and resources, if you put those things in the hands of the people, that this is what allows us to build power together. This is what allows us to know ourselves and to know each other more deeply. And this is really the basis of justice and liberation moving forward. And so that's why our mission is the way it is, because as a space, it's so clear that the resources need to be with the people so that the people can steward our own histories for the long term, and especially with everything that's been highlighted in terms of our current environment, but this is nothing new, right? The forces of historical erasure and historical representation and silencing are old. And so is the power of the people to preserve and to tell our own stories. Okay, and with that, I would love to turn it over to Leela to talk about digital preservation. I'll switch places with you maybe. So I can be the clicker for you.
Thank you, Winter. Yeah, and I'm just gonna talk for like a few minutes just to give you like a little introduction to some of the work that we're doing just through like a little, let's call it like a workshop even, if we could do that, about preserving your digital materials, which is so important. And I'm gonna like just actually ask y'all like a question, if like a couple of people could like answer, which is like, what is digital preservation? Someone could. What does digital preservation mean?
Taking everything that you have been holding on to forever, personal or professional, community or individual, and transferring it all to a digital format, so that all that hard stuff, the VHSs and the little teeny discs, and everything you have from your old-fashioned video cameras ends up in one clear digital format that can be shared everywhere with everyone, digitally.
Wonderful. That's a really good definition of digital preservation. I'm just gonna like share now the professional, quote unquote, definition, if you could pass the session, from the Society of American Archivists, and to them, digital preservation includes not only the protection, but also like managing digital information, right, after it's been transferred, right? So, you know, we can talk about digitization, which is like the process of, or transferal, if we're talking about mini DVs, of those materials, and then, you know, having them in your computer, having them in drives, having them like in cloud storage and so forth, in order to ensure authenticity. So now, once that material is like in your system, you know, to ensure that it is actually the same material. It's not technically the same, but that it holds the same information, you know, for folks to be able to access, right? So you have long-term accessibility, as well as integrity, so it doesn't change through time, which is really important. and it is then reliable to access. You can think of like how files could be corrupted very easily when you use them a lot. That's just like an example of like, you could have that material like in your system, but it also faces the challenge, the risk of being corrupted, being hacked, and so forth. So digital preservation covers a lot of elements where we're thinking of like protecting your materials, like so people can have like access to them long term. Next slide. So, and at People's Media Record, we have like what we call like a community-based approach to digital preservation. So what does that mean? That means like instead of like thinking of like the best practices out there, thinking of what is good enough and what is appropriate like for your context. Meaning we all have limited capacity, right? We have limited tools, limited resources, and part of it is trying to pull those resources together and think together, work together, hopefully, like, and build like a network of care, right? I think the word care is really important. Thinking of like preservation as also like as a way of like caring for your materials, protecting them, making sure that they're safe. So folks can activate them. Folks can actually like enjoy, those stories that that you've produced, that you've made throughout time. So it is basically what suits us as communities, right? And thinking of like the process itself, like instead of like maybe just like I'm gonna preserve everything, thinking of like what is most important, and having conversations between us about those processes and what is important to us in terms of like what should we actually be preserving? Should we be preserving all the files? Should we be preserving like a B-roll, like, and all those tricky questions when we think about like digital media, right? And thinking of like, what is the purpose of preserving those materials? Like, to what goals do we actually, what goals we want to serve as we are like preserving them? And thinking, of course, of like building community power through those and community protection in these times as part of like that practice of care for our materials. And of course, we save multiple digital threats. There's something that's really that can happen a lot, which is like when the issue of dependency, when files cannot be used with other software. So thinking of like open source as something really important in those cases. Hard work. This is such a big issue, especially with analog materials, like not being produced, not being supported. How do we deal with those issues, right? And I think like when we build sources together, we can then like we can address these issues like better and think of like how do we deal with them in ways that are like generative for our communities. And of course, there's materials deteriorate with time. That's like both, and that goes with like digital media. That goes with like also like storage, hard drives. They 2-3 years, and boom, like hard drives, they just like start failing. It's so typical. So like, how do we deal with that? Like these materials are expensive. So these are these issues that we're like thinking of, like how can we actually like do like a truly like community-based like care for our materials, and a very like obviously like simple issue, which is like loss of context with time. Happens when when you're naming files, and you have an example here where you could like just say big action, like instead of like naming your file like in a much detailed way, having your date, having like location, what kind of content, and so forth. would improve the access of someone who, like, let's say 5, 10 years is looking at this file and is like, well, what exactly is this, before actually having to open it. So something that's, something that, we all know, but, it's hard to pinpoint is having like detail, like file naming that gives you all of that, like meat that it's already like in the media itself, right? I was actually gonna, how are we time-wise? Okay, so just like, how do we like deal with all these like digital threats then? And just here you have like a basic list of how to do it. Like I'm sure some of you have heard of the classic 3-2-1 backup rule, which is like maintaining 3 copies of your files, ideally in 2 different kinds of media. And ideally, and I think this is the hardest one, it's like having like, let's say you have drives in your home, you have like cloud storage, and then you have drives in maybe your sibling's home, right? So of course, it's a challenge. It means like having to like acquire more materials, more storage, which requires more resources, which is why we talk a lot about like the need for like a network that is community-based, a network of preservation and care for these materials, and like how could we develop that, which is something that at People's Media Record, in collaboration with folks, we're trying to like see how we can imagine that kind of space happening. An important thing always is just having your open source like copies. So instead of like, let's say, and I'm just gonna use the example of the spreadsheet because I have a lot of spreadsheets. And instead of like having an Excel file, just having that CSV is more accessible than having that copy. One important thing that a lot of folks don't know is the importance of what is called fixity checks, which are to ensure that files are uncorrupted. And a fixity check, just to describe it really quickly, is basically checking if the file is integral, if the file is authentic, if it hasn't like lost like information within it. So there's like these applications that you can use to actually verify that. In our resources bank, we have detailed information about this. We have information about like the apps, and you can go and find and look at these. And these are free. These are like open source applications you can use for that. And yes, and importantly also like ensuring physical media and storage are stable and supported. And one that was really hard, it's like, okay, so you're like doing all this work with you're trying to preserve your materials. You need to also like, ideally document your processes so other folks who are also having access then know what's going on in terms of like, let's say how you organize your folders. Maybe to you that's really clear, oh, this is really clear, but maybe for someone else with other, it's like bringing a different kind of perspective, doesn't understand that. But if you have a real, you have a document that says like, oh, so this folder means this folder means that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just like a quick example of like how you can document your processes of preservation. And last but not least, I wanted to like just talk a little about metadata, which is so important. And file naming is an example of metadata. But thinking of metadata in a community-based orientation. So metadata is information about information, so like what's used to describe the different approaches of different attributes, elements. So, thinking of like the creator, like the location, all of those like elements, the type of media, the type of file, all of those that are helpful to like just better understand your items and how to locate them, search for them, preserve context. And of course, these choices are never neutral. They're like historical. They're like, they reflect like cultural practices. So it's really important to understand that. And when doing that, think of like your communities, the communities that you're documenting when you are generating your metadata, and how those voices can also like be an important part of the process of creating the metadata, naming them and so forth. So to actually make it more community-based itself. And that is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can scan this QR code. There's a resource bank, and like Gabe said, they'll be sending around the slides that have a lot of resources that link to information that Leila just shared. And we want to invite you to come to People's Media Camp. It's a great space for building skills, sharing skills, and also essentially building connection around any work you might want to preserve. It's going to be October 3rd and 4th this year. So please contact us if you like, or sign up for updates at peoplesmediarecord.com. Thanks for having us.
We contact you directly through PhillyCAM, like wherever we want to get in contact with any of the speakers today. Just go into the PhillyCAM web, and there's a whole listing of every single program and contact people, et cetera.
For any PhillyCAM staff, yes. And then for, I will send out an email with the link and information about who's shared.
That, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and just in the QR code, you'll find in the slides, you'll find that there's like a link to like a long resource bank that we have with like a lot of juicy resources for y'all to like experience. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Winter and Leila. Awesome, yes. And if you are interested in learning more about preserving media, we do plan to have People's Media Record sharing at our TV Producers Retreat happening in May, so stay tuned for that, and it'll be longer and more in depth. And there are little handouts that were left on your sheet that have more information. And there will be more on the tables outside. Awesome. So trucking along, I'm going to invite Erin McGregor of our board to talk about the board elections that are happening today. That's a big part of what this meeting is, so we can learn about some of the candidates. But just a quick plug that we do have a new member survey that's gone out. If you might have gotten an email about it. If you have any questions, or we really would love for you all to fill that out to let us know about things that we could work on, right? Or things that you love, things that you want to partake in. And so you can reach out to Veronica, who's also a member of our board, for more information. We have physical copies as well as the kiosks as well. But Erin, come on up.
Okay. Hello, friends. How are we today? Hanging in? Okay, good. So it is board election season. Actually, today is the last day. So can I see a show of hands for folks who got the email and who voted already in today's election? Okay, so a lot of you, and I see a few people who might not know the folks on this board here. And so for a little context, we all on the board put in, we run for 2-year terms, and in that time we meet sometimes 6, sometimes 8 times a year, plus we show up to lots of PhillyCAM events. We are a fully volunteer-run board. And 5 of us are returning board members, and so that would be Ariane, me, Chris Norris, Aaron, and Charles Clark. Are there other board members in the room? If you could stand up so that we can see you. I see John Myers over here. I see Trinae. I would love for Carlton to stand up. Carlton is running for the board today. We're going to see a little presentation video in a second. And then is Joe Benoit here? Yes. Oh, hi. Is it accessible to you to stand up? Just to wave to the room? Here. Yeah. Okay, so Carlton and Joe are the new board members who you're going to vote for, right? Right? Okay, I think that there's a video where you're going to learn about us, and then I think we have Charles Clark saying something quickly because he's not in the videos. That's my understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
Very quickly.
Hi, my name is Aaron Brokenbaugh, and I'm a filmmaker here based in Philadelphia. I've been a part of the PhillyCAM community for about 10 years now, starting off as an intern and finally being on the board. This is my second term on the board, and I'm continue to do the work that I started off to do when I first started. Being a part of the Resource and Development Committee along with the Finance Committee, I have been able to really have a more of a deep understanding and a deep appreciation for the work that the members and the staff do and create to make this environment the way that it is today. What I'm excited to do is continue to apply a lot of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years and help implement them in a way that really sees some effective change in the community. What I'm interested in doing is creating an environment for filmmakers and freelancers and entrepreneurs alike to know that there are resources available to them in order for them to prosper as filmmakers here at PhillyCAM and in Philadelphia at large. So that's what I bring to the situation, and I'm excited to continue to do that work with you all. I would like you to know that this cannot be done without any of you. All of you coming here today and showing your support and your determination and your love for a craft is what gets me up every day and inspires me to continue to do the work that I love to do, and more importantly, the need and the necessity right now that is community media, where we can tell the stories that we want to tell and make sure that we're putting our own perspectives on it to make sure that we're actually telling the people that we care about the stories that make sense to us. I'm looking forward to continue to do this work with you guys. I'm looking forward to being your board member, and I take that responsibility with the utmost respect and the utmost honor and the most responsibility, and I would like to continue to do that for you all. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I'm looking forward to learning more about the work and the efforts that the members and the staff have put to making sure that we are a close-knit, tight, and safe community for all. Thank you. Bye.
Dear PhillyCAM members, my name is Carlton. I live in South Philly, and I am running to be a member of the board of PhillyCAM. Let me tell you a little bit why I think that's a good idea. I was drawn to PhillyCAM because 30 years ago I walked into my college radio station and my life was changed forever. I am a community raised grassroots media maker, and I've been that way ever since. I've created zines, I've done radio shows, I've written for the alternative press, and I've also built community engagement organizations built around public history and taking control of people's media and music and creativity from the grassroots. And that's why I'm running to be a member of PhillyCAM, the board. I've been already a member of PhillyCAM for about 3 years. I took an Adobe Premiere class. I know how important it is to have those type of community-run, driven education opportunities. I am putting together my first music special. I've worked as a fundraiser in development, as a storyteller, as a grant writer. I think I'm going to bring a lot, thinking about resources and where we're going to get the funds to continue PhillyCAM long into the future, regardless of changes in the corporate landscape or the government landscape or the individual landscape in fundraising. And I also just bring a love and commitment to this work. I have been so inspired by all of you and this organization, and I just want to give back as best I can, and I hope I will get your vote. And thank you so much for this opportunity and time, and regardless of outcome, I will see you at PhillyCAM sooner rather than later. Bye.
I'm Christopher Flood, the drummer Norris, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at StoryCorps and a 2025 Columbia Journalism Sulzberger Fellow. I'm currently running for re-election for PhillyCAM's Board of Directors for one key reason. because not enough people know about PhillyCAM, and I want to change that. I want more creators in the door creating more content, and I want more audiences watching PhillyCAM and appreciating its creators. I have spent 15 years in the city of Philadelphia creating media and community-based programming, both for television, radio, and in-person events. I bring a wealth of experience and a wealth of community partners, including StoryCorps. We partnered with PhillyCAM in 2025 for our Brightness and Black program, helping creators understand how to change the narrative for how we talk about Black folks. There's a lot more work to do. I am fired up to do that work, and I need your vote. So vote yes. I'm Christopher Flood the Dorminaris, and I approve this message.
Hi there. My name is Erin McGregor, and I'm running for PhillyCAM's Board of Directors as a returning board member. For the past 2 years, I've supported the Board of Directors and PhillyCAM as the chair of governance, taking care of the health of the board by helping organize board retreats and manage election processes. I'm currently the vice chair of the board, so I support the board chair and sit on the executive committee, setting agendas for board meetings and planning out our annual strategies. I've also sat on the WPPM steering committee, helping staff with fundraising and updating the programmer policies and manual. I have spent my career in journalism support organizations, supporting independent media makers. By day, I work at the Online News Association, a membership organization dedicated to supporting journalists at all stages of their careers with training, community, and resources for career growth. Vote me back into the board of directors so I can continue representing South Philadelphia, continue my board leadership journey, and continue supporting independent media makers at PhillyCAM and beyond. Thanks.
Me pidieron que hiciera un video para decir por qué yo soy la persona que debería estar en el board de PhillyCAM. Y desde que llegué a PhillyCAM hace 7 años, he sido una persona que ha defendido este proyecto, que lo ha promocionado, lo ha divulgado. Creo fielmente en las fortalezas que tiene PhillyCAM y lo importante que es para la comunidad. Y sobre todo tengo un gran sentido de pertenencia y siento que PhillyCAM es mi casa y que cada una de las cosas que se hacen allí son súper valiosas. Así que yo creo que es importante continuar en el board para completar mi misión, que es hacer promoción y difusión de este proyecto en nuestras comunidades. Gracias.
My name is Joe Benoit, a social entrepreneur residing in Philadelphia proper, and I'm being considered for the PhillyCAM board. I've been visiting PhillyCAM for 4 years, and I encourage my colleagues to join me. I'm eager to be on the board because I have excellent and long-term experience in for-profit corporations and non-profit organizations, and I want to share my experience, knowledge, and talents that I've acquired as a positive, longevous adult. In addition, the board will enhance my life journey of learning. I value my attributes of sticking to the task and commitments, and I will share my hard skills in the Membership Relations Committee. Thank you in advance for your vote. Every vote counts.
So Charles, if you want to give us a few words on why we should vote for you.
2 words.
Yeah, 2 words. Make it snappy. No, I'm kidding.
1, 2. Okay, my name is Charles Clark. I'm currently on the board and I'm running for re-election to the board. Why would I want to be on the board of PhillyCAM? Well, PhillyCAM is what they call a liberal organization. Now, I'm sort of liberal myself, having been born at the end of World War II, more specifically on May 31st, 1945. I learned growing up that the only way you made a difference in something was by opening your mouth. So I started doing that. I have experience of being a union rep, fighting for the rights of workers. Okay, thank you, I guess. Of course, that position always got me in sort of trouble with the boss. They loved to see me coming to work because they knew I was going to do the work, but they also dreaded me coming to work because they knew that if I was around, they could not steamroll over workers. I came to PhillyCAM in 2015 when the radio station went on the air. I did a show called
Labor Justice.
See, I must have made an impression because somebody remembered the name of the show. Labor Justice Radio. Did it with your friend.
Jim Moran.
That's right. The reason that I want to continue on with the board is so that I can stay in the position as the chair of the Member Relations Community Engagement Committee. That's an important role. It's about getting more people to come in and tell their stories. You are here as members because you had a story you wanted to tell. I want to help keep that kind of an opportunity not only open for you, but through the committee that I chair, to get other people to come in and do the same. That's all.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks so much. So please vote if you haven't for our wonderful board members here, and join a committee. We have a lot of members in the audience who are part of committees, even if they're on the board, and that's awesome. In the interest of time, we're not doing a break. We're going to hop right into our promo session, just so we can hear from some of these awesome members. So I'd like to invite up all of the folks who are involved in our promo session, because we're going to go rapid fire through them. So I want us all up here, and we're going to be passing the mic. So please, if you are one of our promo session folks, come on up to the front, and let's hear about you. We got Chantal, promos. Not yet. You're on promo sessions. If I was you're not one of them. I don't have a slide for you. Got some more folks. Excellent. I think I'm missing a radio person. Okay, Michelle Watson. There you are. Excellent. Yes. One of our presenters had to bolt for a train with time. Derek Rivers, are you in here? Did I see you? Yes, come on up here. All right. So our promo session is a little different this time. Usually we have our pitch where people take a bit more time. We're going to do a bit more of a rapid fire kind of fun session. These are projects that are in existence or are kicking off, and so we want to amplify and just kind of get this on your minds and into the mix, and then take note of these people. If you want to learn more about their projects, if you want to get involved or support them in different ways, come find them when we're like dancing and eating, okay? So to kick it off, we have Derek. Yeah, go for it.
All right, I didn't expect to be up here. I don't know what to say. All right, Walker the Universe. If you're interested in sci-fi, I did a sci-fi movie or of sorts. It says there in 8 hours, the entire universe will be destroyed and only Nathan Walker can save it. That's pretty much the premise of the movie. It has a mixture of things like Star Wars, Total Recall, other movies such as that. I filmed a lot of it here, a lot of it in this very room with the green screen up, upstairs, all over the place. It's got special effects, and it was fun, chaotic fun to film. And I'll be doing the screening next week at 11 o'clock right here, I guess in this room. So it's a private screening, but you guys can be here if you want to come. I'm fine with that. Hey, you know, so that's it. So yeah. Yep.
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Alex. I'm a recent member. Recently started doing a show called just All Music is Good Music, inspired by my love and interest and discovery of all different sorts of music. Not claiming that the show is all of music or that I know all of music, but more like a quest or a journey to like kind of go every different direction, just discover stuff that I've never heard of or introduce new people, introduce people to stuff that they maybe haven't heard, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
Lexi is the one who had to bolt, but she has a show, a radio and a TV show called Reggae Influence that she's building up, that's unpacking Caribbean culture and the music behind that. So you could reach out and you can listen and watch, and she has some new episodes coming.
Hi, I'm Brian. A couple of years ago, I wrote and produced The Fairy Godkiller with a team of volunteers. It's airing on PhillyCAM April 13th at 5. We're having a little bit of a watch party here at PhillyCAM to, you know, sort of introduce it to people, have some people come down, we'll have a Q&A, a little fun stuff. And it'll be hopefully a good time for anybody who wants to come out.
Oh, there you are. I wondered where you went. This show that I'm going to introduce you to, we are going through all the classic films of the last 70, 80, I don't know, I can't count years, and horror. And this right here is my lab. And here, I will break down each of these clips and give you a little offering amusement with each of them. And I believe there's something else around here. Ugh, I don't know what. Oh my God, where did you come from? Oh. Boris, I thought I locked you in the chambers with all the other animals.
Well, I got out because you know why? I have hope.
Ugh, I thought I squeezed that out of you, Alice.
No, never. So what Disney movie are we watching this week?
Oh, Disney movie. There's no such thing as Disney movies here. Here we only watch horror. Yeah, so that is what the show is about. I didn't expect the video to start right away. But yeah, it's just kind of like in the spirit of horror host of the 60s, just kind of going through the history of horror from the 1910s, 1920s, and on through the decades. The first episode premiered last month in February, and there's going to be a new episode every 2 months. Then one coming up is about the 1910s and 1920s, which is like the silent film era. And it's just kind of moves through history, movements, notable figures, and especially like black roles in each decade of horror, because the earlier it is, the less great it is, unfortunately. But yeah, so you can watch it every Tuesday on 10 p.m., or you can also go on the YouTube channel, Crew Zero, and watch it anytime you want.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Kay Michelle Watson, and I was a fellowship winner for the radio station. So thank you to everyone that, that's raised money for that. It's been a great experience, and I'm also a part of the Around the Block, which is the other one where I serve sometimes as co-host and on the board. One of the things that I'm hoping to get on the radio soon is a topic called Missing in Philadelphia. It's been a great experience with the radio station, and just finishing another part of it, technical director fellowship. But thanks again, it's been a great experience, and I encourage everyone, when there's time to raise money, please, give what you can, support radio. It's always there, it's always been a help. And for many of us of a certain age, we grew up with radio, so we know what that's about. So thank you.
2021, you play your first rave, and then it's EMM. Okay. So how did you participate in that?
Okay, there was a block party actually.
Another block party.
A block party,
Very
right?
Philly.
Very Philly, right? So WKDU, Drexel's radio station, they had, well, I don't think it was an official WKDU thing, but it was just a bunch of people from WKDU.
Yeah.
I met Cameron at this block party.
I think Cam mentioned it.
Yeah. I met Cameron at this block party. I met this guy named Chris B, who does Hot Mix on WKDU. Anyway, at the WKDU block party, it was so interesting because like my mom's coworker lived on the same street. So when I went to this block party, she's like, "Oh, isn't your mom so and so?" And I'm like, "Who are you?"
Hi everyone, my name's Alexa, and what you just saw was a clip from my PhillyCAM TV show called Club Friends. And Club Friends exists as two things. One thing is my living room turned record store, and then secondly as my PhillyCAM TV show. But really they're both in service of me exploring all of the moments that move me and moments that I want more of, and a lot of that is centered around music. So who you just saw was a DJ named Tia, who actually did a workshop here at PhillyCAM, and she's brought me some of my favorite moments in Philly on dance floors. And in the corner, that is Vashti Dubois, who started the Colored Girls Museum, and we met on another dance floor. And then next to her is Dan DeLuca, who's a music critic for The Inquirer, and we met because he wrote an article about me. But these are really experiences where I'm exploring our connection and identity through music. So I'm really happy to be sharing that with you all in PhillyCAM.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here and shouting out your awesome programs. Please remember these faces, find them, ask them where to watch and support and listen, or any ways that we can show up, watch a video here as a screening, or attend festivals or listening parties, any of those things. Be sure to check them out. So thank you all so much. Okay. We had one. I'm gonna go through it fast. Okay. I nailed it. We're back on schedule. That's kind of cool. So closing out this part before we get to lunch, after we do our member acknowledgements, I am gonna usher us all outside so we could take a nice, lovely group picture like you saw at the beginning of this slideshow, and so that we can document all the wonderful people here. But we would love to just uplift and get some recognition for some members that we have seen some amazing projects and collaboration developed throughout this year, and we're just always delighted to see them come through and the amazing support that they provide, and the energy and love that they bring into the space. So to kick off our member acknowledgements, we last year kind of revived this. It kind of went to the wayside for a few years, and then we were really feeling like we need more opportunities to celebrate you all, right? Like PhillyCAM doesn't exist without the people and the people-powered media, right? There's no media then, right? And so this is one of the many ways that we're hoping to acknowledge the work of our members. And so to begin this, we have a very special award to start with, and so I'll invite Gretchen Clausing back up to talk about the Vijay Mohan Spirit Award.
Thanks, Gabe. I am so happy that I get to present this award. It is named in honor of Vijay Mohan, who was a staff person here, about 10 years ago, and he was deeply, deeply loved. He worked in the equipment room and was really there to help people, and was just hilarious and a lot of fun. And he was tragically killed riding his bike, and it was devastating. And we always remember him, and it's he just really brought us a spirit, and we like to be able to acknowledge people here at PhillyCAM that kind of bring that same kind of energy and openness to kind of be doing things. So we're gonna, this year I'm excited to present the award to Jason Rose. Jason was nominated by Gabe, because these are sort of like staff, multiple staff. So we nominate the recipients of the awards. And Jason does a show called Lemon TV, which is like a local pop rock live performance show with crazy green screen, and it's like a lot of jangly pop, like, you know, Elvis Costello-ish kind of music, and it's all local independent musicians, and I get to enjoy it every Wednesday when they do their show, because I can hear it when I'm up in my office. So it's kind of a similar genre of music to what I grew up with, so it's really fun to listen to it. And then the thing that is really what tips the scales for Jason to be part of the Spirit Award is just how much he's helped other producers with their shows, whether it's operating the board or doing different things. He has worked on Rachel Godfrey's City Rhythms and Chantal Jackson's Senna's House of Nightmares that I know we all want to watch now. And then he's just also just shown up to a lot of our events, a lot of our collaborative events. So that's kind of what brings the spirit. So I'm very happy to, present the Spirit Award to Jason Rose. Oh, okay, all right. Are they saying things? Do you want to say something? Do you want to say anything, or do you want to?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to take a picture?
Oh, all right.
You can come over. Oh, okay.
All right, sorry.
All right, well, thank you very much for the kind words, Gretchen, and thank you for the award. And this is a really great honor. I love PhillyCAM so much. I just think it's such a valuable asset for this city. It's just such a great resource. And being part of this community and making Lemon TV has just been a life-changing thing, and I just love it so much. And I'm just so happy this city has an institution like PhillyCAM, because not every town has something like this. It's a really special thing. So thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you. So moving on next, I'm going to invite Roland Boyden, our access manager, to do this one.
Hey, y'all. All right, I have the honor of let me stand in the best possible light here, since I was fussing with, maybe it's like right here, I don't know. So I get the honor of doing the Connector Award, which is very exciting, because, you know, connection and connecting folks is what PhillyCAM is all about, but let me read you the official part here. So the Connector Award goes to a group or individual who exemplifies the fostering of partnerships, community inclusion, and the use of medium for audience awareness. And this year's recipient exemplifies this in all the best ways. So many candidates we could have picked from here, but I'm really excited to get to announce this year's winner. They've really cracked the code on making every single new episode that they do a chance to bring more people into the fold. So they've really got the formula down for encouraging their guests to then take their appearance here and use it to share out and just grow the community with every single new episode they do, a new person that they bring on. Which really encourages not just their reach, but also PhillyCAM's reach as well. Not to mention, every time their show's on the TV here and people walk by, they go, "Whoa, Roland, what is this show?" It's happened to me like 10 times now, and at this point, I just know which show it is, because it's always the same show. And it doesn't hurt that their show is called The Connector. So for the Connector Award, that works out too. So put your hands together for Michael Rice. Let's bring him on up here. Congratulations. Here's the official the hardware. And then I got a mic for you here too. Hardware and the mic.
Oh, okay. This is a surprise. No. First off, I want to acknowledge my team members. I don't know if Sherry's here, but Don. Yeah, Sherry, come on up. Come on up. Sherry and Don Terry. Don, everybody know Don Terry. Because I couldn't have did it without these two individuals putting it together. I want to say this, I was a community engagement specialist for the city of Philadelphia for almost 30 years. And one of the first things that I learned when somebody sat me down and told me, said, there's three kind of people in the world. And that is the kind of people that make things happen, the kind of people that watch things happen, and the kind of people that wonder, what the heck happened? Right? The people that make things happen is actually the people in this room. So I applaud all of you for the work that we're doing in order to amplify the voices of people and to spread the word about resources and things necessary for us to thrive as a population. And of course, the other people, the people that watch things happen, thank God for them, because that's the people that watch our show, right? I also want to acknowledge the support that Roland and Riley provide for us, so we wouldn't be able to do it without them. That's right. Okay? Also, and while we're here, I want to acknowledge my first guest, our first guest on the show, Miss Nina Fletcher, who is a composer, artist, singer. Singer. No, she's not going to sing anything today. She's a jazz singer. She has a CD out called Courage. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. In terms of what we're doing, I want to thank you. Please tune in to the Connector live TV, The Influencers. And we do have swag, so if you want to enter the swag, you can. We got T-shirts, we got hats, we got everything. We're moving forward. And I want to just thank the city for the opportunity that PhillyCAM has offered to us, and as something that's really can change the city and change how we go about doing things. So give yourselves a round of applause, please. Huh?
Thank you. Congratulations. Yes, go team. Connecting already. It was like, connect to these people. Awesome. Our next award, I'd like to invite up Allison to present our Innovator Award.
Hey again to everyone. Yeah, happy to take the floor and present our Innovator Award, which goes to a group or individual who exemplifies creative approaches to the production process through exploration, experimentation, and development of unique storytelling. And when we were considering, who would receive this award, of course, we have many PhillyCAM members who are innovators in their own way, but one person who came right to mind was one of our radio programmers, Hugh Willikowski, who is somebody who has been with the station for a long time. Let's give a round of applause for Hugh. We'll invite him up. You can come on down, Hugh. Feel free. And so what I can say about Hugh is that he's somebody who really understands the beauty of presenting music on a free format community radio station like WPPM. And so come on down. You can step in front of folks, Hugh. And I'll give you this award. And just to say a little bit more about this award and why it felt like such a good fit is that, when you listen to Hugh's program, Sound of Confusion, which is Sundays, 11 to 1, the first 2 Sundays of the month, you will find music that you never thought possible to find on the radio. And Hugh has a unique interest in supporting local music as well through, this program and new music, brand new music. So we're talking about, stuff that is not on any other radio station in Philadelphia. And, Hugh's been great at really digging in, getting into these communities, playing stuff that is just, it's extremely unique, but it really represents the vibrant arts community here and nationally and internationally in new music. So thank you so much, Hugh. And I want to give a quick shout out, which I think people can find it on Mixcloud. A couple years ago, Hugh presented probably my most favorite Halloween special of all time, incorporating sounds from all your favorite Halloween movies as if villains were live in the studio with him. So that's an innovator if I've ever heard one, and thank you so much, Hugh, for all you've brought to the station.
Thanks, everyone. I wrote something down, otherwise I'll probably ramble. Yeah, I just want to thank you so much for this award. Thank you, Allison. I really appreciate the years that PhillyCAM has provided this platform to myself and fellow programmers. It's one that I've used in my small way to push back against an increasingly flattened landscape of music media, journalism, and discovery. And you know, while it is far from the most urgent issue facing our city and our world these days, it's not disconnected from these larger struggles. It's one that feels very personal to me. And Philly has always been a hotbed of musical innovation and experimentation across all genres and still is. And PhillyCAM is a crucial platform for which to reflect that and put our city's artists' work in conversation with the work of others around the world and throughout history where it belongs, and to do so purely and without outside influence and interference. So once again, thank you.
Thank you. Wow, what a voice for radio. I was soothed a little bit. Awesome. So for our next award, I'd like to introduce Sergio Galliano to lead this one. Come on up here. Getting your script here.
Thank you. Is this one? Oh, wait. I had to write it down.
You don't have it? No way. I gave it to you. Hold on, I got it.
Can you pull it up? It's a little long. It's also the last one.
Ooh, where are you?
Oh, yeah, I sent it to you.
Baby.
Hell yeah.
Haha.
Technology. Everybody, the Collaborator Award goes to a group or individual who exemplifies the ability to work together toward common goals. This person's been trained on just about everything we have to offer, field equipment, the Express Studio, the main studio, and in doing so have consistently used those skills to support the projects of others. They went through the TV Director Fellowship and currently use those skills to direct technical direct programs like Inti Media's Dialogos and Anthony Luton's Consider This in the Express Studio, as well as came through like a hero for us to TD the Love Now Media's Love Now Live finale marathon late last year. They've always been an active participant in member engagement events, such as our feedback loop in PPM Fest, and was even most likely to volunteer on this very awards presentation if they didn't have to receive an award. Please give it up for Lamont Gibson. Careful.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Here.
All right, so I do not have a speech, but I'll just speak from my heart. I joined PhillyCAM last year after I graduated from Temple University from the grad program, and I wanted to continue to work in film and communications because I also have an associate degree in communications. And basically, I came to PhillyCAM to get as much information that I could and continue to work. And yeah, I just had a really good time here. The staff gave Sergio, Laura, Gretchen, they all were welcoming and, you know, helped me as much as possible. And then, you know, it felt good to come here. And I appreciate that environment, you know, especially getting out of education. It's kind of hard to figure out where you're going to go next. Yeah, and I just thank you again for, you know, acknowledging me, and I acknowledge you for putting that time into me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, what a wonderful group of members. This could be you next year if you join in. Awesome. So that was our presentation. So the last things that we're doing today is, one, you're going to follow me outside so we could take a picture. So our lovely photographer Dom can take a picture of us. Yes.
Hey guys, real quick, just when you're out there, thanks everyone so much for coming. I'm Dom, I'm the digital content producer. I'm shooting stuff in the Express Studio, so anyone that wants to have a conversation about their time at PhillyCAM, say some nice things, I hope, come by, stop by, we can have a chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so Dom on video and Dom on photo. So find a Dom, they got you covered. And after we take our picture, there is lunch out there. And we have an awesome DJ in our garage, DJ Raymond Tyler, so we can dance, we can eat, we can chat, we can connect. And thank you all so much for coming to the annual member meeting 2026.